Poson Full Moon Poya Day, Poson Festival, is celebrated the arrival of Buddhism in Sri Lanka in the 3rd century BC, a festival of great historical and religious significance celebrated island-wide by Buddhists. Poson, held on the full moon day of June, commemorates the occasion over 2,000 years ago when Arahat Mahinda, son of Emperor Asoka of India, converted King Devanampiya to Buddhism. The main center of celebration is Mihintale, the ancient monastic complex where the royal missionary monk Mahinda preached the first sermon to the ruling king, and at Anuradhapura, the ancient capital, to which large crowd of pilgrims converge. Mass religious observances, illuminations, pageants are part of the celebrations. For Buddhists, this hallowed day of Poson is second only to Vesak in terms of importance. Although Poson is celebrated throughout the island, the major ceremonies are to be found in Anuradhapura and Mihintale. Long lines of devotees dressed in white climb the many steps to the top of the Mihintale hill, first to the temple, and then to the dagobas that lie adorn the nearby hillocks. In addition, many devotees climb to the very top of the rock, to the spot where Arahat Mahinda delivered his initial discourses. Poson Poya is celebrated annually with great fervor throughout the island, but particularly in Mihintale, where Mahinda Tharo first put his foot to preach the word of Lord Buddha. This is why Mihintale is called the cradle of Buddhism in Sri Lanka. With the establishment of Bhikkhu Sasanaya, all other elements of a civilized society began to emerge, with the art of writing, art, architecture, river civilization, religious rituals and song and dance forms, literature, all with royal patronage. Many religious activities are organized during this Poson period in Sri Lanka, such as sil campaigns, body pujas, dansalas, freely giving foods, coffee, tea from people, Poson devotional songs, Poson pandals, thoran, and lanterns. Lot of Poson pandals and Poson lanterns are making Anuradhapura in Sri Lanka. In Poson, many temples are filled with Attisal devotees and pilgrims all over Sri Lanka to mark this great event. The devout, clad in pure white with no makeup or jewelry, make their way to the temple, to spend the next 24 hours in quiet contemplation. Poson Festival. While the rest of the village gather at the temple grounds after sunset to participate in lesser religious activities, like reading of holy books, or listen to the saffron-clad monk relate ancient stories from Lord Buddha's previous lives. During the Poson festival, the selling of alcohol and flesh is usually prohibited, with abattoirs also being closed. A festival of great piety and sanctity which focuses on the virtue of compassion to all living creature, it is also one of much color and gaiety, with street, homes and public places decorated with beautiful and finely decorated handmade paper lanterns, small and big and glittering with illuminations, pandals depicting the different occurrences in the life of the Buddha or his previous births. Arahant Mahinda Thera test the king's knowledge. As a result of the conversion of Dig Vijaya policy of the Emperor Dharmasoka to that of Dharma Vijaya policy, Buddhist missionaries were sent to various countries in the world and to Sri Lanka. Emperor Dharmasoka sent his own son, Arahant Mahinda Mahathera, to lead the delegation. Arahants Itiya, Uttiya, Sambala and Vadasala accompanied Arahant Mahinda Mahathera in this missionary. Sumana Samanera also joined them. The only layman in this mission was Bandhuka Upasaka, who had attained Anagami, or the third of the 4 paths or stages leading to Nirvana. It was a pleasant day with fine weather, and King Devanampiya followed by his men engaged himself in a game of hunting in the royal park, Misakapura. A well-built deer ran swiftly by the king's side. The king had no time to spare. No one other than the king himself was to kill the biggest deer on that festive day. He pulled out an arrow and aimed at the deer. His arrow did not move. A ray of light radiated from the mountain top at the foot of which the king was standing. He heard his name being called in a sweet voice. The king was seriously concerned as to who in this world was dared to call him by his name. Further, presumably he would have been sorry that he missed his game. However, he was not annoyed as the words were pleasing. The king looked up from the foot of the mango tree where he was standing dumbfounded and saw the figure of a human being in yellow robes with rays radiating from the spectrum. The king could not remove his eyes away from this fascinating figure. He was amazed. This should be a supernatural being, the king thought. Hitherto the king saw only one figure. The other four arahants, the Samanera and the Upasaka too, emerged one by one. Arahant Mahinda ascertained that the king was prepared to listen to him. For the mighty king, the charm of Misaka Poya was that on it stood the treasure he was longing for. His bow and arrow fell from his hands. He put his hands together on his forehead and knelt down on the ground under the mango tree. Arahant Mahinda Mahathera decided to test the king's knowledge and intelligence and to ascertain whether he could understand the Dharma by delivering it in the normal way. In addition to the normal ritualistic observances undertaken on a Poya day, on Poson Day devotees flocked to Anuradhapura, the ancient capital city of the country, for it was there that Arahant Mahinda converted the then ruler, King Devanampiyatissa, and his court to Buddhism, thereby setting in motion a series of events that finally made Sri Lanka the home of Theravada Buddhism. Even today, on Poson Poya, Anuradhapura becomes the center of Buddhist activity. Mihintale, the spot where the momentous encounter between the elder and the king took place, accordingly receives the reverential attention of the devotees. The two rituals of pilgrimage and the observance of the 8 precepts are combined here. Processions commemorative of the event, referred to as Mihindu Periharas, are held in various parts of the country. The Poson festival commemorates the conversion of Sri Lanka to Buddhism in the 3rd century BC. Illuminations and processions take place all over the country, but the best place to see the festival is at Mihintale. It was here in this ancient city that Sri Lanka's king was converted to Buddhism by Arahat Maha Mahinda, the son of King Asoka, Emperor of India. As the king was hunting deer, Mahinda appeared to him in a grove and asked him a riddle about a mango tree. Ambasthale means mango tree. After the king had answered the riddle, he apparently agreed to follow the teachings of the Buddha and declared its state religion. The Ambasthale Dagoba is a temple which towers above the city of Mihintale, accessible by 1840 steps and built over the very spot where Mahinda is said to have appeared before the king. There are many religious activities organized during the period of Poson, including sil campaigns and body pujas in temples, in which only Buddhists participate. Dancel, which are set up with the aim of giving away food and beverage to people, sees the participation of all religious and ethnic groups. Generally, a dansala is organized by a group of people or an individual, and various foods such as rice and curry, sandwiches, boiled chickpeas as well as tea, coffee and fruit juices are served to those who visit the dansala free of charge as a charitable act. There are several other rituals that come with Poson. Devotional songs are sung by Buddhists in every nook and corner, while Poson pandals, which are colorfully lit illustrations from the 550 Jataka Katha or the 550 past life stories of the Lord Buddha, can also be seen in plenty in every city of the country. These pandals are beautiful sights, glistening at night, and many people from around the country come to view them in the late evening till past midnight.
කරදර බාධක මැදින් යන්න නුඹේ මග හොඳින් උත්තම දලදා සමිඳුන්